Hello, hello, greetings, travelers. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's stream. But today's stream is not just me. I have my co-host of the podcast, Kahiao, here with me as well. Look, here is Kahiao in all his glory. Kahi, say hi to the people.
Hello, hello. Welcome.
Do you see yourself on the stream?
Yes, I do.
Looking
great
snazzy.
suit. I don't have that tie, but I do have a tie.
Oh my god.
Hard to find a suit that fits my size exactly.
Oh yeah,
Very well made, very well tailored.
It's easy for me because I can kind of just like resize it like this. so anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out with us today. We're gonna be doing a really special episode because today we will have the community created podcast episode, and we will then do a live podcast episode. So for those of you guys that do not know the context, let me explain real quick. If I just look over here on my Discord real quick. So Kazu posted, happy first anniversary Genshin, guys. Dear J-Side and Kahiao and everyone, exactly 1 year ago, the first episode of the Genshin Guys podcast was uploaded. In the last 2 months, the community has prepared an anniversary surprise for you, a Genshin Guys community podcast episode. If possible, we'd love to hear you guys reacting to it live together on Discord or on Twitch. And then here's the link, and then we're going to go ahead and listen to it. So there's also a Google document with the entries of people who weren't able to record, so we might take a look at that later at the end too. So yes, and then she said thank you to everyone who participated, had a lot of fun organizing. Hope you like our anniversary gift. So guys, thank you so much. We're really excited to read it. We've been kind of holding back, trying not to listen to it already, of course. We have not listened to it at all, so we will be reacting live to this with you all. So Kazu, can I ask you, is there background music or no? Should I turn off my background music? There is background music. Turn it off. Okay. Okay, great. So the other thing is then, before we get started with that, is that after we watch this episode, which is about half an hour, we will be going right into our recording for our next podcast episode, Genshin Guys episode 49, which is a quiz episode. So for those of you that know, we have quiz questions we ask each other. We have the Who's Voice Line segment. Kahi has some riddles for us. And we will be doing all of that live as well. And then I will just be uploading as is as a podcast later to Spotify. Now, because it's a quiz episode, you can actually participate by typing in the chat what you think the answers are. And we'll have like a kind of system in place for that. I will explain later. But that will be happening after we react to the community podcast. So stick around if you can. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And I hope you enjoy it. Okay. And pause whenever you want to comment. Okay, so maybe we'll do that during the podcast. Okay, Kahi, any opening remarks?
I'm just staring at my picture on this suit, and it's like it's such a mismatch. But I don't know. It's growing on me. I'm getting used to it.
I'm just moving.
I've used that picture as like an avatar for a bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, I can. That's why it was bothering me. Like my chin was like a little bit too centered.
Yeah. I just looked at it and I was like,
There we go.
Okay.
Now it's more realistic. Okay, it makes sense now.
Who needs a VTuber when you have the reactive Fujitech website and a PNG of a suit from Google? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started then. I'll go ahead and stop our background music here for today. By the way, our background music today is Streambeats by Harris Heller. It's like a playlist of totally copyright-free music, so streamers can use it. We'll be using that today for our podcast. Now, let's go ahead and switch over. So,
should I mute Discord since we're going to be watching, or should I mute this?
You should... Well, you're going to be able to hear it
through the stream anyways.
Yeah, you're going to hear it through the stream. So, but when I talk to you, it's going to be on Discord, right? So, tough. Okay. Yeah, we didn't think about this part. Let me...
Yeah, I'll keep them both on.
Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. Do your best and just take a sec to like reacclimate if you have to for if you like, there's like double voices going on. Okay. Ready? Let's switch to this. Okay. Oh, where'd Kahi go? Oh, hold on a second. Let me get some Kahi in there. So first, we have Kahi's head. Hello. Wow, there it's gigantic. Kahi, say something real quick.
Microphone check. Test 1 2.
Yeah, that's so funny. All right, and then we'll add Kahi's body because that's obviously very important for Kahi to have a body. There it is. Hello. Oh man, I love this. This face goes over the body. Here we go. Just keep Kahi's head gigantic while we do this. Okay.
Yeah, call me Andros.
Andros.
Hello again, Star Fox.
Maybe here is good. Okay. There we go. Now we're ready, sort of. Okay, here we go. Let's listen. Oh, it's our intro.
Greetings, strollers. I'm Kazu.
Oh, such a good song.
I'm Halo.
I'm Java.
I'm WL Forever Banan.
I'm Octira.
I'm PG.
This is Fox with Wings.
I'm Rex Lapiscent.
I'm Sarah Q.
I'm Slady.
I am Solito.
I'm Strawboober.
I am Rai606, also known as Rai.
And we are
the
Genshin Guys. Welcome all.
Oh my god, that was already
amazing.
amazing.
Fans of the Genshin Guys. Here we are talking about our opinions,
all in unison. That was great.
And dreams about the Genshin Guys podcast. If you like our show, don't forget to leave a thank you on Discord or wherever you're listening to the podcast. So, before we get started, Fox and Strawboober, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Kazu. Thank you.
I'm doing good, Kazu. Thank you for asking. It's very hot in Belgium lately. We're having a heat wave, so I'm trying not to melt, but Genshin is
like Kahi talking about the weather.
So yeah, I'm doing good.
Like
how about you, Kazu?
I'm fine. I'm just a little tired. The last few weeks have been quite stressful for me, like had to work.
I just realized this intro's gonna be huge.
The document
all the people.
preparations, of course, and yeah, also working on this little project here. But now I'm also very excited. What Josh and Kahi will say to this little episode of our community. So I would say let me introduce today's topics. So, first of all, I have interviewed a few of our active community members. I have asked them a few questions, and I think the answers will be very interesting and exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. The next topic would be everyone's anniversary or thank you message to Josh and Kahi. And then a few of our members have been very creative and prepared some quizzes, riddles, whatever you will you want to call it. And the last segment
we
of
got some
today
quizzes and riddles of our
would
own.
of course be the last wish segment. So I hope you are excited. Josh, Kahi, get ready for your little anniversary gift. Have fun. Let's start with the interview segment. Everyone,
Oh my god.
From which country are you listening to the Genshin Guys podcast? I'm listening from Germany.
I'm listening from the US.
I listen from the US.
I listen from the USA.
I listen to the podcast from Singapore.
I listen from Canada.
I am from the US East Coast.
I am listening from Brazil, a city called Belo Horizonte.
I'm listening from the East Coast of the US.
I'm from Sweden.
I am listening in from the United
Brazil.
States.
I'm from America.
I listen to the podcast all the way from Belgium. We're a tiny little country in Europe.
I am listening from the southern part of Luzon, Philippines, a little region called Cavite.
Question number 2. On which streaming platform do you listen to the podcast? I listen on Spotify.
I listen to the podcast on Spotify.
On Spotify.
Normally, I listen on Google Podcasts.
And I usually listen to it on Spotify.
I listen on Spotify.
I listen via Spotify usually.
I usually listen to the podcast on Spotify.
I listen on Spotify.
Wow, Spotify. Go
I
Spotify.
mainly use Spotify to listen to the podcast.
I use Overcast on my
easy.
phone.
I listen to the
Overcast.
podcast on Spotify.
I'm using Spotify as my main platform.
I don't even use Spotify.
Next question. When do you listen to the podcast?
Incredible.
I usually listen to the podcast while driving to work or driving back home.
I don't really have a usual time or activity when I'm listening to the podcast. Sometimes it's just when I've got nothing to do, or sometimes if I'm studying, but it doesn't require that much brain power, I guess.
I will usually listen to
The brain
podcast
cell.
while I'm drawing.
I listen to the podcast while I'm
Drawing.
at work. It really helps the shift go by.
So when I listen to the podcast, it's usually during work or before I go to bed, or maybe getting ready for work even.
I listen to the podcast when I'm driving to work each Monday morning.
Before I go to sleep.
On my way to work, while driving, and since I work traveling,
It's adorable.
it's quite common to be so bored during trips.
A lot
So
of people
you guys
like
are a
to
big
watch
help.
and
Usually
listen on
during
the
my
way to
daily
work.
commute.
I
think
listen
everyone
to the
does that.
Genshin Guys
Mm.
podcast
Most of the
while
people
studying.
that I know
play
that listen to
video games,
podcasts, it's on the way to work.
Genshin, or just as something to listen to while I work.
I listen to the podcast while driving.
I usually listen when I'm doing my night shifts at work because those are slow and often I have enough time to listen to the episodes and it gets me through the day. It keeps my mind busy and I just enjoy listening to it. It's great. I love it. It's my favorite time of the month when I know that I'm going into my night shift. I'm always happy to catch up on the
Team night
the
shift.
previous episodes.
I discovered the podcast after I happened upon J-Side's Twitch stream and have been enjoying it while I take my breakfast or do my other morning routines.
The last 2 questions are: what's your favorite segment of the podcast, and what do you especially like about the podcast? So for me, the most interesting segment is actually the lore learn along, because I'm really interested in the lore that is revealed in the game, but like in books or voice lines somewhere where you really have to read or listen into it, for what I just don't have enough time. And that's a perfect way to learn this stuff. And what I especially like about the podcast is the whole chemistry between Josh and Kahi, because they are so different. There's a big contrast, but in a very fluent way, I would say. They're just really nice and funny, and the way they are talking is very pleasant.
2 things I really like about the podcast is how usually there's this either neutral or positive spin on everything that's discussed. I know that there's a place for criticism when discussing the media and the games that we love, but I see a lot of it, and so to have a space where everything's kind of looked at from a brighter standpoint is really, really nice, really uplifting.
Yay.
And then the other is that there's kind of a wider variety of topics covered, like from the lore to the voice acting and all of these other things. Like, it definitely makes room for a lot of people with different focuses within the game to come together and enjoy it and connect to the podcast, I think.
My favorite segment is All Weeks in Genshin, and I especially enjoy listening to the quiz episodes and the story summaries.
My favorite segment has to be the Lore Learn Along. What I especially like about the podcast is how much it focuses on story and what's going on in the game rather than mechanics and character builds.
I really enjoy listening to the community question discussion every week when I listen to the podcast. Like, it's always very interesting to hear all the different views from different members of the community from all over the world, and it's so amazing how everyone
Seriously,
is so
so
interested
international.
about Genshin, and it really
I
is
love it.
very interesting to me. So I really especially like, listening to Josh and Kahi. They have this quiet humor and this chemistry between them, and I'm really, really very proud of how they have created this really safe and wonderful community for all of us to interact and meet with each other virtually.
My favorite part of the podcast is the Who's Voice Line and quiz segment. I especially enjoy the welcoming and tight-knit community that Josh and Kahi have built. It feels like everyone, including both podcasters, are my good friends.
I love the part when you guys react to the community question answers. And I love how
PG.
your personalities just mesh together.
My favorite
Oh,
segment
PG.
of the podcast is the Learn Along. Because everyone knows I'm one of the crackpot theorists in the server. What I like best about the podcast is that there's a little bit of everything for everyone. And Jay and Kahi are so chill and accommodating.
I don't know if I have a favorite segment. I really enjoy all of them. But, I think if I had to pick a single favorite, it's when Josh asks Kahi, "How are you doing today?" And then Kahi, without fail, tells us about the weather. Or how his apartment feels. I really enjoy that. It's so specific.
I mean, I gotta let
And,
people
it's
know
not
how I'm
exactly what
doing.
you
Now you
expect
have to do it.
hear on a "How are you" moment, but I really appreciate it. It's honest, and I love that. I love that for us.
Just read the full weather report.
Wait a second, I have to pause now. Okay.
All the humidity.
Wait a second. Okay, let's just stop for a second here. Because because it's so funny because I always think when you respond when I say how are you and you respond with the weather around you. I'm always like
It's just a
okay.
habit.
I'm just like okay. Oh, it's
I'm
so
trying to
funny.
think of something on the spot. I know I expect the question every time, but I'm like, what do I talk about?
Oh,
Okay,
it's
what
so
is-
hot
is
here.
that-
I'm a little chilly. It's a little chilly outside here in Hawaii.
Okay, one day I'm literally gonna pull up the full weather report, read like the temperature, the humidity, like the air quality.
So it's
the
it's
UV
39
index.
degrees right now. What is it? The AQ indicator says it's whatever. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Percent chance of rain.
That's great because like I always thought the same thing, like, oh, like it's so consistent, like you always never fail to mention weather, and I've never said not to, but I always wondered like why you did, but now you have to. It's a staple in the community now. Weather affects mood, so it's valid. True. Yet I still don't expect to hear it almost every time. But yeah, no, I mean I totally get that. And then sometimes I'll talk about the weather if the weather is like crazy bad or something like that. But yeah. So other than that, so far, right? We're like a third of the way through, and I just think it's so cool. First of all, I haven't heard like half these people in the community like on voice before or like very much. And I know
I love
Kahi
how
hasn't
they're
heard
all over
like
the place.
Kahi hasn't
There's
heard
so many
any of
different
them.
countries. It's great.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so international. It's crazy. Like, and everybody listens on Spotify. And Kahi and I use like, do you use Spotify, Kahi?
Here and there. I mean, I know Spotify is great for podcasts. I mean, it's a very popular app. A lot of people have been using it. It's cross-platform. It's easy to set up. It's green and black.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, like a lot of apps that are just They're very simple color scheme, very vivid, very bright. They're attracting. They're attractive.
I
Even
see.
Kick. A lot of people are going to Kick just because. I mean, I like the look of Kick because it's green and black. It's very simple.
That's so funny. I mean, your little icon on Discord, it's like a K, like a green K on a black background.
See, a lot of people respond to those colors. It's very. I don't know what it is about it. It's very bright, high contrasting.
And then Aktira said, every time Kahi says Chiliad, I'm like, dude, you're in Hawaii.
The weather changes here too. We get our cold weather.
Shigo colors.
We complain about 60 degrees.
Shigo colors. Do you know who Shigo is?
Mm-hmm. Kim Possible.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Oh man, what a good show! I missed that show.
Right? So okay, wait. So yes, first of all, Kazu, this is amazing. Like just the fact that you like went and edited all this and got all these things from everybody is incredible. And
I mean, the coordination.
Yeah, for reals. Like these are, and then you got to keep in mind, these are people that don't know each other in real life. Like this is all this online community that was made in about the past 6 months. Like we only made this Discord in like February or like early or like late January or something like that. So, you know, we're pretty new. We're pretty new community. But yeah, great job, guys.
Not a year.
So and yeah,
it does not feel like a year.
It does not feel like a year since we started the podcast. Yes, it definitely feels like less than that. All right, let's keep listening.
I like that the podcast really keeps it positive. I think that's
Yay, my goal,
big part
seriously.
of what drew me to it. I think that it's super valuable to be able to have critiques and things that we would like and things that we want more of or less of. But I really appreciate that that Josh and Kahi really keep the focus on what is so great about this game and this community, and what can bring us together, as opposed to and also like taking from
we don't
all
capitalize on
perspectives.
outrage.
Yeah,
it draws a different crowd.
Yeah, and it shows, right? Like we don't try to clickbait people into, you know, picking, like, listening to us because of like what's under fire and then adding fuel to that fire. Like we don't do that. We I always, ever since I started doing content creation a little more seriously, like I wanted my image to be positive. Like I always wanted to keep it like that because I mean, I'm gonna say who likes negativity. A lot of people like negativity to some degree or whatever. It keeps things interesting. But
there's already enough out there.
Yeah, there's so much. And so I like want to keep the positivity interesting. And so like it's really, really great that we that's one thing that people keep saying in this podcast, because that is something that we really strive to do, or at least I definitely strive to do as like the showrunner, to like make sure that we're talking, like I don't know if you guys noticed, but I stopped asking at the beginning. I kind of asked, like, we would ask these questions of like, what is your favorite thing and what is your least favorite thing. I try not to ask least favorite thing anymore, like, period, because who cares, right? I mean, if it's like least favorite, maybe it's like a daily commission or something, but I don't want to talk about why like D-Luke is someone's least favorite character. I mean, obviously there's a joke that Dory is my least favorite character, but like even that I don't even bring up too much. Like I just want to keep the focus on like what do we love about the game and how that shifts, and not so much about how it compares to what we don't like about things. So, you know, have you been on Twitter? Exactly. Twitter. Yeah, we'll see what happens to Twitter in the next couple months. But yeah, Kahi, you have anything to say about that, or you want to keep listening?
I mean, it's very, very easy to make reactive content, and things that are volatile tend to be highly reactive. So if you have something like that obviously has a positive outlook, like everyone unanimously agrees, hey, the combat's good, story's good, world is awesome. I mean, it's a lot to talk about. I mean, when people listen to podcasts, I'm pretty sure they don't want to leave upset or mad. They want to listen to it because they want to chill out. They want to relax. They're at work. They're trying to make work feel less like work. They're trying to break the monotony of every day. They're just listening to something that puts a positive spin on something. I am sure people don't intentionally play a game that they hate. Even if they do, they take a break eventually. I mean, I take a break from Genshin every now and then too, but there's still things to talk about. There are still a lot of things you can dive into, but no one really likes to make content out of it because guess what? It doesn't draw a click sometimes. So you have to really play into the overreactive meta. I mean, what we're doing right now, we're reacting to a video. I mean, people like this kind of stuff, which is fine, but there's things we can do. There's better things we can do with our outrage. We don't have to spend it here on a game that we play just to have fun.
Mm-hmm. It's also like a generally positive game, so it's not like some games where like your goal is to shoot each other, or it's like it's a co-op game, it's a story-based game, like just it's great. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
It's not just about what one part of the community thinks versus what this other part of the community thinks. They make a lot of effort to make sure that everybody's voices have a place on the show and that everybody's opinions actually count for something. Like I think the Genshin developers try to synthesize those in a way that makes a better experience for everybody.
Yay.
Really like our weeks in Genshin and also Genshin news. The fact that you guys actually understand casual players.
I think I enjoyed the Genshin news segments that are in the podcast.
Bro.
But I do also like the riddles and little games and things that are also sprinkled in through some of the podcasts because it makes it feel a lot more interactive, which I enjoy.
Yay.
I like hearing about Josh and Kahi's thoughts on different events and story things like quests, for example, that get put out in Genshin. I think it's interesting to listen to what their take is on the different.
I just realized we've never sworn once. We don't
My
use
favorite
foul
parts of
language
the
at all.
podcast
Nope.
are the community input and the wishes section. One day we'll win.
Last wish. One day.
My favorite segment would have to be whenever we go and review one of the new quests or stories. When we talk a lot about lore, I usually love that because I honestly often tend to skip through some of the dialogue if it gets too heavy. So I'm always grateful when we do a recap of that in the
it does get heavy
episodes so that I can catch up on what happened exactly.
It's becoming a little easier which story events are going to be, persistent through the main story and some that are isolated. So, because we have experience with, hey, this is a time limited event. We're probably not going to bring it into the main one. So yeah, it's easy to keep track of. Oh, I don't need to listen to this. I could just skip through this.
True.
Is just the way how it's put together, like it all makes sense. I love how we have different segments, and I love how they there's a routine in it as well. Like every episode what's gonna be happening, like what we start with and what we end with. I also really just like the sound of Josh and Kahi's voices. They're very
good to have a
soothing
plan.
and
Maybe some people are like,
very pleasant
catch
to
this
listen
episode
to,
later.
and I think that does a lot when you're listening to podcasts. I think the podcast is super informative as well. Like there's just so much info and opinions and facts, and I love that about it.
I am particularly fond of the quiz episodes because they're always engaging, and as someone who enjoys the lore part of Genshin aside from its beautiful open world, I enjoy that I get to answer along. Josh and Kahi had done an amazing job formulating a podcast that is both entertaining and stimulating. Not only does the podcast has amazing topics being discussed, lore wise and other contents, I also like that the Genshin guys have pleasant voice that makes listening something soothing and a happy activity. I also love the choices for background music which adds to satisfying listening.
Thank you everyone for answering the questions. So, we will come to our next segment, which is everyone's individual anniversary message to Josh and Kahi. Thank you so much, Josh and Kahi, for the entertainment you're giving us every single week. Thank you for your really hard work. You're doing great, and you can really be proud of yourselves. And also, thank you for creating this wonderful community around the Genshin guys. And I also want to thank everyone in the community for not only for taking part in this project, but also and especially for making every single day in my life a little bit better. So, happy first anniversary, Josh and Kahi, and stay awesome.
I cannot say this enough, but thank you so much to Josh and Kahi for all of the work that they put into making the podcast and creating such a welcoming space for all of us within the community to come together
This is
and
so adorable.
enjoy and discuss over this beautiful game. Happy
Thanks,
anniversary.
Signy.
I would like to thank Josh and Kahi for entertaining me on long and stressful days, and congratulate them for making it to 1 year.
And just like a personal message to Josh and Kahi, I really want to thank them for creating the Genshin Guys podcast. I remember how I randomly found you guys on Spotify, and back then I think it was only just 13 episodes. I've been listening to the podcast ever since, and I decided to take a dive by joining the Discord to get more involved. And you guys are like my first Discord community. So interacting with the wonderful
Yay.
people in this community has been really nothing short of amazing, and it helps when Josh and Kahin themselves as well as everyone are so friendly and so welcoming to everyone. I really feel like it's just one whole big family. So just want to end off by saying wishing you guys a great happy anniversary of 1 year of doing this podcast, and may our community core stay true and forever the same as we grow bigger and more established over time. Cheers to the Genshin guys.
Thank you, Genshin guys, for an amazing first year. Can't wait to see what's in store for the future.
Now I want to give you a huge thanks and a happy 1 year anniversary. Keep up the good work and have fun, as you two are excellent hosts.
I would like to take a minute to thank you, Josh and Kahi, for doing such a great job on the podcast. You guys definitely make my week that much more fun. I would also like to thank J-Boss in particular for being such an awesome boss and trusting me enough to help in this community, which is absolutely the best little corner of the internet. It's such a treat
J-Boss.
to work with you. Keep rocking
I
it,
told you.
Barkers, and see you in the Discord.
I would like to thank Josh and Kahi for making the effort to bring this to us every week. It is such a pleasure to see a new podcast episode out. I don't have to search for what I'm going to listen to at work. I know right away, all right, there it is, new episode, let's go. And similar to my answer to what I appreciate so much, it's just the positivity. They have together really created an environment that allows people to share a love for the game and the characters and the environments, and the experiences that it gives us in a really healthy and wholesome way. And I appreciate so much that that we not only have the podcast where we can feel like, we're heard and seen and represented, but also the Discord where we can feel very much like part of the community. I am so glad that I have people to nerd out about this with.
So thank you for your work, keep on doing your own thing, and never change.
To Josh and Kahi, thank you both for organizing and uploading the podcast on the many different platforms and taking the time to both share your passions and your feelings about Genshin. Whether it's on livestream, recording, or in the Discord server, everything about the Genshin Guys community is all just very wholesome, and I'm very grateful for the warm and welcoming community. And I think part of the reason why is due to the two hosts who started it all. So really thank you for all you do. I'm glad to be a part of this community, and I can't wait to see as the Genshin Guys keeps growing.
Thank you, Josh and Kahi, for making these first 3 months a very memorable and great experience, both on the podcast and in the community. And may it continue for many months to come.
Josh and Kahi, thank you so much for creating this podcast, giving me something to listen to that I can be passionate about as well. But mostly thank you for giving us such an amazing community where everyone is welcome. It's always nice. People are amazing in this community, and you guys are as well. So thank you so much.
Josh and Kahi, thank you so much for creating a Genshin community for both enjoyers and lovers to hang out and have fun. More power to you guys, and happy anniversary, Genshin Guys podcast. Many more to come.
Thank you everyone for your sweet and kind messages. We will come to our next segment, which is the community quizzes / questions.
I will have order.
So a little note before we start. I have also sent you a link to a Google document where not only the people who didn't feel comfortable to record their voice have answered all the previous questions. There are also the answers to the quizzes and questions we have prepared.
Oh, okay.
So you can think of your answers and then check in the document
it has
if
the
the
answer
answers
sheet
are
too.
right. And obviously, please make sure to also read the answers of our lovely members who are just too shy, too uncomfortable, not be able to talk and still wanted to answer and take part. Thank you.
I have a simple riddle for you guys now.
Wait. Okay, before we listen to Halo's riddle, so we listen to these first and until the end of the segment, and then we go into the document, or what do we do? I just want to make sure I don't spoil myself on anything.
It would make sense to do it now before we get into the riddles, but
I'm asking.
then again, there's the answers.
Let's see. Maybe Kazu can say. So, what's the ideal order, Kazu? So, the answers in the document are spoilers. So we should make sure we listen to the whole thing first, and then read the document after. Also, this is so wholesome. My mind is blown by this. It's I gotta say, I feel some sort of extra pressure now because everyone's like, you're a big part of our day or our daily life or whatever. Listening to this thing, it's like, oh my god, the pressure. Whatever order you want, you cannot see the answers. You have to select them in the document. So. Question.
We should do this one now then, because it's after everyone's messages, just to keep it one big cohesive section.
Yeah, let's just try to listen to it and see how it goes. All right.
I lived in liberty with no fear to tear me. A ship crashed and I felt abashed. Now I live in loyalty.
In the wild is where you and this.
Whoa. Wait. You ready, Kahi? You want to hear it again?
Sure. One more time. Because there's a bit of a stream delay. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, here. 40.
I have a simple riddle for you guys now. I lived in liberty with no fear to tear me. A ship crashed and I felt abashed. Now I live in loyalty.
Now I live in loyalty?
A ship crashed. Meatball? Meatball?
And take part.
Wait.
Thank you.
I have a simple riddle for you guys now. I lived in liberty with no fear to tear me. A ship crashed and I felt abashed. Now I live in loyalty.
Have any ideas?
The thing that stuck out to me was the ship. It's like a ship crashed. Meatball crashed.
Okay, wait. The riddles are... Oh, the answers are in white writing, so I can look through the document without spoilers. I got it. Okay, so... Halo? Where's Halo? Riddles. Oh, Halo. I lived in liberty with no fear to terror me. A ship crashed and I felt a bash. Now I live in loyalty. No, I hate you guys.
Okay, I lived in liberty.
Yes,
okay, well,
Shell.
here's
Yes,
you gotta
Kahi,
keep in
go.
mind, some of these might not be in like native English. Maybe the phrases might be a little bit different.
I mean, or it's just like tricky riddle writing.
Mm-hmm. True.
Kazu,
It's
I
just
already know how it is.
ship stands
It's
out.
Kahi's the one that needs to be stumped. Any
Ship crash, and I felt a bash. No fear to terror me.
Any guesses?
So starting from fear, now in loyalty.
I lived in liberty, freedom, with no fear to terror me. A ship crashed, I felt a bash. Now I live in loyalty. So who lives
Storm Terror?
loyal to someone else?
Storm Terror?
A ship crashed and felt a bash? What ship crashed in Storm Terrors?
There wasn't a ship. That's the
It's
thing.
a playable
like,
character, Halo said.
Oh, it's a playable character.
Octira. Most of them are playable characters. Most of them, okay. Oh, McGamerson has an idea. Okay, hold on. All right.
Wait, is this Beto? Beto's ship never crashed. He's like the best pirate in the world.
Okay.
Now I live in loyalty. Oh. I mean, it could be. She's not fearful of anything.
She did live in liberty.
She's loyal now.
You want to say Beto?
I'll say Beto.
All right. I mean, I guess I'll say the same thing. It's Toma.
Toma.
Wait, is that his backstory? Oh, because Halo loves character stories.
He came from Mondstadt.
Oh,
Did he
Liberty
crash
is Mondstadt. I lived in Liberty. Like that's
Now I live in
Mondstadt.
loyalty.
Now I live in loyalty.
Oh right,
because he's
Ayaka.
Yeah, he's
servant.
he's Ayaka, yes.
That makes sense. Oh, this is a good one.
Damn, that was a good one, Halo.
I didn't remember that he crashed.
Yeah, I thought
he smuggled his way around here.
I didn't know that he was there that way, but that makes sense. He took a boat to follow his dad and crashed in Inazuma. Oh,
that makes sense.
So the loyal part is what
good.
I was expecting. I was like, who is a servant to someone? Was my first thought, but I couldn't think of Toma. Oh my god, that was a good one. Yeah, that was
What threw me off a little bit was with no fear to terror me. Like, what was Toma scared of? No fear to terror. I mean, he probably doesn't have to say like what he was scared of to say no fear to terror me. He just always is like living a carefree life. Somewhat.
Well, that was a good one. That was very good. All right, let's move.
Move
on. We probably have a bunch more, so let's see.
In the wild is where you and this fun guy first meet, because you needed help with opponents to beat. Even though we had just met, you left the competition soaking wet. Friendships were made along the way. It's just a shame they couldn't stay. Though no longer in your employ, they'll return someday and kindle joy.
It sounds like Java. Yeah, here it is. In the wild is where you and this fun guy first meet, because you needed help with opponents to beat. Even though we had just met, you left the competition soaking wet. Friendships were made along the way. It's just a shame they couldn't stay. Though no longer in your employ, they'll return someday and kindle joy.
This sounds like the fungus event. Fun guy.
Well.
Hmm.
You left the competition soaking wet? So hydro?
Like sweaty? Because it was like... it was very
really?
intense,
I'm thinking like...
combat event.
I'm thinking it was like a hydro thing. Like this person uses hydro. In the wild? Who do we meet in the wild?
Well, we met a fungus creature, and we named it. What did we name him?
Oh,
Bongo Head?
it says this fun guy. Like literally,
Yeah.
it's fun guy, not
I
fun
know, but
guy.
that could be a pun.
Yeah, but did you meet a fun guy? Guy?
Yes.
Who?
Okay, during the fungus event, you literally met one. You can't. That was like, what are they? I'm
Okay,
pretty sure it
wait.
was
Let me
Bongo
just.
Head.
Java, is this a playable character?
No longer in your employ. Friendships are made; they couldn't stay. Yeah, they're temporary characters.
Is it
so
Bongo
they're
Head?
Like NPCs. It has
It's
to be
Bongo
Bongo
Head.
Head.
Oh my God, it's Bongo Head.
Got him. Yes. See, fun guy. That was the
I guess
key right there.
I guess so. I guess it was. You know what, Java? Classic Java. All right, let's listen to the next one.
I'm sorry for your loss, you cute little zombie. Now I understand the life you want to live. So can you let me be your best friend? I know you don't fit the cycle, and that's why I wanted to kidnap you. I realized my mistake, and I'll make an exception. I hope we can get better sometime. Who am I?
Oh my God, Peachy's theatrics. I love it.
Interesting. Okay, let me see this. Okay, what is it on the screen? I want to read this thing again.
Oh, Kindle Joy was the name of
I'm
the other
sorry
fun guy.
for your loss. So this person is talking to the zombie.
Mm-hmm. You cute
Anytime
little
I hear
zombie.
I keep thinking
Chi-Chi, yeah.
It's screaming Chi-Chi in my head.
Well,
who's
but
talking to Chi-Chi?
this total thing is like makes like wanted to kidnap you. It sounds like Hu Tao.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I am getting Hu Tao vibes from this.
All right, let's say Hu Tao.
Yeah, it's my mistake, and I'll make an exception. Who can make an exception for death?
Is that how? Is that what? Oh, interesting. All right. Ready? I'm gonna reveal.
I'll say Hu Tao.
Hu Tao. Yeah, it's Hu Tao.
Yeah, sounds playful. I like how it was read too. Because it sounds playful.
Yeah. Who am I? All right, next.
That's great. That was a good hint too.
Yahoo! So now is the riddle that I made for you guys. It's a little long, so please pay attention. I've got a piece of the unknown buried deep down inside my bones. I've been weak and now I'm strong. I've also made a family of my own. I have been strengthened by the gods on a wet and desperate night. And if you find yourself at odds, I will help with all my might. Now pray, travelers, think of me. I hope I won't drive you insane. I promise you'll be glad to see, once you've guessed what is my name.
Wait, Fox, there's a whole extra verse in this document.
Probably typed afterwards, maybe. But this is.
Should we ignore it or should we?
Unknown.
Should we use it? Is it part of it? Damn, use it. Okay. I've got a piece of the unknown buried deep down inside my bones. I've been weak and now I'm strong. I've also made a family of my own. I've roamed both far and wide. I've even lived among the spies. But where skies and earth collide, I bode my loneliness goodbye.
Oh, I know who this is.
I've been strengthened by the gods on a wet and desperate night, and if you find yourself at odds, I will help you with all my might. Now pray, travelers, think of me. Hope it won't drive you insane. I promise you'll be glad to see once you've guessed what is my name.
This is Albedo.
Oh, really?
Piece of the unknown in your bones, because I've made a family of my own, so it's a homemade family. It's like not a natural family.
Skies and earth collide is
skies and
Dragon's
earth
Spine?
collide. Yeah, it's way up in the mountain.
Been strengthened by the gods?
Mm-hmm. The dragon. What was the dragon's name again?
Durin?
Durin, yeah. I think this is Albedo. A lot of hints point to Albedo. It could be another character, but it doesn't match any of the other clues.
I hope I won't drive you insane. I promise you'll be glad to see once you've guessed what is my name. Now pray, travelers, think of me. I hope I won't drive you insane. I promise you'll be glad to see once you've guessed what is my name.
That
That
might
part
just
doesn't
be a
sound very
way to
albedo
conclude
to
it.
me.
It doesn't sound very. It doesn't sound like a hint. It's just like it's a way to wrap up the poem. I mean, it doesn't sound like a very obvious hint, but I'm sure it's something that alludes to the personality. I'm gonna say albedo. So that's my final answer.
I've been strengthened by the gods. Who has been strengthened by the gods? Lived among the spies, where skies and earth collide.
It may not have to be like a direct, like empowering thing, but something from a god helped this person in some way.
Hmm. Been
Or
strengthened by the
anyone
gods.
with a vision.
On a wet and desperate night, and if you find yourself at odds. Wait. So I've been strengthened by the gods on a wet and desperate night? And if you find yourself at odds, I'll help with all my might. Right, I hope I won't drive you insane. I promise you'll be glad to see once you guess what's my name.
This might be how they got their vision.
Even lived among the spies. I'm not sure what that means. So part of me thinks it has to do with Kale. Oh, visions are
Piece
believed
of
to be
the
gifted by the
unknown
gods. That's
inside
true.
my bones. Well, then, what about the part where skies and earth collide?
Well, that part was omitted. But
okay.
I don't know, because like a mountain makes sense, but what I thought of was the scene with her and Sucrose like sitting out in the middle of nowhere looking at the sky.
Well, I bode my loneliness goodbye.
Yeah.
So they made friends at trying to. I don't know, something. Most of this to me sounds like albedo.
Okay, let's see. Ready? Boom. It's Kale.
Wait, Kale? Oh, what?
Yeah. So
Kale.
So
Okay.
the piece of the unknown
That's
thing deep
possible
inside my
too.
bones thing is like the she was injected with
serpent.
the dead god, right?
Yeah, it was a serpent god, I think.
Yeah. Yes. And the roamed both far and wide, I think, refers to her being in Sumeru as a ranger. I'm not exactly sure the lived among the spies part. And then where the skies and earth collide, I bode my loneliness goodbye. I don't know. For some reason I thought of that as like a reference to the event where Sucrose and her became friends, but I don't know. And then the wet and desperate night, strengthened by the gods thing, is maybe when she got her vision. And then I hope I won't drive you insane has to do with
probably
that.
when her Eleazar got cured from the heat.
Oh yes, weak and now strong is an Eleazar reference.
Yeah.
Oh, she lived with the Fatui for a while. The mountain is where the piece of
spies,
the
right.
unknown
Way
god
back
was
then.
sealed, and where she made Mondstadt friends. Oh.
Oh.
I love
That
how
makes sense.
Kahi was comfortably wrong.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no,
A lot of
but
this
that's
other stuff makes sense,
Yeah,
too.
you got to do it. She was once under
I was doing a lot of
Totore,
figurative
that's right.
thinking. Like, most of this is it a metaphor or no?
Mhm.
It's actually direct.
Okay. And let's see for the question. Okay, let's listen to the next one. That was great, Fox. Okay.
Good luck to everyone.
Of the upcoming regions, what are you most looking forward to?
Okay, so that was just a question to us. So, of the upcoming regions, what are you most looking forward to? Kahi.
Okay. I mean, Fontaine's next. After that should be Natland and Shniznaya.
I'm excited for
I have
Natland.
to say, I'm gonna say Shniznaya. I want to know, like, what is the place where the, what is it?
Sritsa?
Cryo Archon, the Sritsa. What does that place look like? And because you can tell a lot about the governing body and her by how, like, what is it phrase? Like, you can tell a lot about a person by how their house is, or how they
Sure.
claim their place. I mean, if it's a very like rundown place and there's only like one main city that has like all the wealth and all like the development, you can kind of tell like what's going on up there. But if it's a very like benevolent place where like the people are actually prospering because yes, she actually is doing the arguably good thing for her people, then yeah, your opinion about her and the Fatui and the Harbingers might change a little bit because they're I never really thought of them as like the ultimate bad guys because of what did he say? Piero? Piero was saying we'll seize authority from the gods. They are on the side of humanity, so they don't hate humans, so they're not gonna do something that hurts their own people. Not that from what I think. So they're just doing things doing good by bad means. But I'm looking forward to Snezhnaya mostly because that is where all of this is leading to. That's end goal.
Right.
Like the conclusion of a big story or event will happen there. I kind of want to know how they're going to set the stage, so to speak.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm excited for Natlan because of it being the nation of war and finding out what kind of like events will happen during that time. Like what kind of things will happen? Like, will we go to war? Will we be in the middle of a war? Like, and
Isn't the thing resurrection? What was the phrase in the hint?
For what?
Because they always had like a phrase when they were introducing all the chapters.
Oh, in the video, in the
Natlan,
the long video.
Like Masquerade of the Guilty is the next one. I forgot what Natlan's one is. I thought the word resurrection was in it.
Yeah, I remember the word, but like something ode to resurrection. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I mean, I'm also excited to see Himeko hopefully as as the Archon because they have the same name, Murata. So, hype. But okay, let's move on then.
And one last question Paimonyaka asked me to ask you is which character would you like to record a podcast with, and what would the podcast be about?
Which character would we like to record the podcast with, and what would the podcast be about? Like, character? Zhongli.
Easily.
What would it be about?
What would they consider? What would Zhongli consider the turning point in human history? Like of 1,000 years you've presided over Liyue. Like, at what point did you realize, okay, this is where things are changing? Because it helps to keep our eyes forward. Like, hey, if that thing happened way back then, and this is the culmination of 100 years of that effect, then maybe if we're just sitting here drinking tea, if that's going to have an effect like 100 years from now, maybe we'll drink something else. Something like that. I mean, he has the experience, he has the wisdom to actually tell how a nation is formed after a contract or after a single event historically, or if magic had a play in anything. I don't know, but for someone who knows that much history, I'm sure they have enough information to build all kinds of theories on.
So just like a history of humanity podcast.
Probably.
Where are those who share the
got a lot
memory?
for everything.
What was I gonna say? So I would do a podcast with Sino, and it would just be dad jokes the entire time.
Oh my god, you're trying to draw in another audience, aren't you?
And then we would duel. First half dad jokes,
cool.
Second half TCG. Oh, maybe one day I'll try to get Alejandro Saab on the podcast, and we'll do some dad jokes. That'd be great.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's listen to the next thing.
Thank you everyone for your creative minds and interesting questions. And we are coming to our last segment of today, which is the One Last Wish segment.
Oh my god, I was hoping for this.
And the One Last Wishes will be made by our lovely mods Solito and Rex.
Oh.
Your mommy teach you that?
Oh my
So I
god.
spent about 100 wishes on the stream trying to get my Kazuha. So we're just going to toss in one little wish for Ahitham. See what we can get.
Oh, no.
And it's blue.
It's blue?
And it's a debate club. My first weapon in Genshin.
Oh, his first weapon.
And now my latest one.
And now his latest one.
All right, I'm Rex Lapicent, and I'm going to be doing our last wish segment. I will be pulling on the standard banner. I am at 37 pity.
Okay.
I would really love an early. been pretty lucky. So
Don't say that. Jinxing it.
Not this time. It's
Oh,
blue.
she jinxed
It
it.
is the Skyrider
Or they jinxed
sword.
it.
Oh no,
Goodness,
no luck in
Rex.
the Last Wish segment. I still hope that you, Kaya, and Josh liked our little anniversary surprise. And a big thank you once again to everyone who participated
This was great.
in
I like
this
this.
project. You all did great, and I'm
It's
so
blue and
happy
so
we
am
were
I.
able to put this together.
I was waiting for it.
And yeah, I hope that another year will come, and another year will come, and another year will come. So all I can say now is thank you.
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 Ad Astra Abyssosque.
Hostoshio Mesase.
Enjoy.
The Japanese. Oh my god.
Hey.
That was amazing.
That was great.
Clap. Oh my gosh. So, first of all, I want to say I'm looking forward to your guys' podcast episode next year as well. I'm just kidding. But that was amazing. Thank you so much, everybody who participated. We're still gonna go over the anniversary text, but thank you so much for those who recorded themselves and they came. You guys came and were able to ask questions, make some riddles, all this stuff. Super fun and amazing, and really just gives us a whole fresh, like, what's it called? Refreshed. Like, we're just refreshed now, like, from feeling, I mean, I assume Kahi, as I am, like, just like seeing how much impact we have on you guys in the community and how much you are willing to give back, even for something just like a little fun thing like this. So thank you so much. What about you, Kahi?
It's amazing. It's amazing to see just how much Genshin's impact. Wait, that's why it's called that.
Oh my god, they did it! They
The impact
impacted
of Genshin. This is the Genshin impact.
Oh my god, Genshin's impact. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to make the pun.
I hate you. Okay.
This is good. This is great.
All right. We are the Genshin impact.
My name is Genshin, and the impact of my punch will defeat you.
Oh my god. Signy ... Okay. Let me look at the anniversary text. So, Hutao WFP says, I'm listening from England. I listen on the platform of Spotify or the podcast app, whatever I click on first. I listen to podcasts during breaks I have and on weekends. It really helps me get through the day. My favorite segment of the podcast is when you talk about your experience with the game, such as Spiral Abyss and comparing HSR to Genshin, as I think it really adds a whole lot of personality to the podcast. I like how the podcast is really informal. It's just two people talking about Genshin, how they like it, and reviewing the game. They've taught me a lot about the game I wouldn't have known at all for a long time, such as being able to put your character hangouts in your Serenity Teapot. Oh yeah, I didn't even know that until Kahi told me. Thank you for creating this podcast. I just remember searching up Genshin on the podcast app and seeing yours, and after a couple of minutes of listening, I knew that I was going to really enjoy the podcast and the community. Woo! That's great. Angel says, I'm listening from the US. I listen on Spotify. I'll listen when I'm cleaning, driving to school and work. Here, let me boom. Definitely Kahi's riddles is the favorite part, I guess. I love the podcast, don't get me wrong. I think the best part about the podcast is the community that has formed around the podcast and Josh's streams. I love how helpful and nice everyone is and how loving the community is in general. Individual thank you message to Josh and Kahi. Happy 1 year anniversary, everyone. Josh and Kahi, thanks for building up this wonderful community we have, and thanks for taking time out of your guys' day to record and make this podcast that makes us all a little bit happier every week, and all the streams in between. Yay! Thank you, Angel. Kahi, you want to go ahead and read Corey's?
Okay, I'm going to read it off the stream. So, I'm listening from the US. I listen to the podcast at work or while gaming. My favorite segment of the podcast would have to be the answers to the community questions because everyone always comes up with some really fun, hilarious answers. What I enjoy about Genshin guys is that Josh and Kahi have a really good rapport, and I enjoy hearing their perspective and their stories about the game I love so much. I also appreciate them giving some time for community feedback and getting to hear from even more perspectives. Also, every week I look forward to seeing who is going to get the better pull in the last Wish segment. Yes. Josh and Kahi, congrats on the anniversary, and here's to many more years to come. Your podcast has given me countless hours of entertainment, and the Discord has given me countless more. I think the community you guys have built is really awesome, and I'm excited for it to continue growing. I don't have a ton of friends who play Genshin, so it's nice to have an outlet to discuss the game with such cool people. Your podcast is the first thing I listen to every week when it drops, and I'm eagerly waiting in anticipation for the first installment of Honkai Hunks. Thank you. Thanks for all you do. Guys.
So
Cheers.
fun fact, we did record an episode of Honkai once, and I just never got around to editing it. It was like in the middle of a lot of things that were happening, and so I just have it sitting on my computer. Maybe I will edit it and upload it later for funds, and then maybe we'll do one in the future. But for now, like, Honkai is kind of up and down for us, so, you know, but it is a really great game, and I'm really excited about the story coming out soon. So we'll see about what happens with that. But thank you, Corey. Arciela, I usually listen to the podcast on Spotify. I usually listen during the quieter hours of my work when I can enjoy the podcast. My favorite part of any podcast is usually when Kahi and Josh go off in a discussion with each other about given news topic or speculation of story or lore. I really like the podcast structure and routine. It's nice to listen to every week with a sense of familiarity. Your individual anniversary thank you message to Josh and Kahi. Thanks, Josh and Kahi, for putting together a fantastic product each week that helps me enjoy Genshin Impact even while I'm at work. It takes a lot of work to get together each week and also prepare for the podcast. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Kemleon, I'm listening from NA. I listen to the podcast on Spotify. I listen to the podcast during work. My favorite segment from the podcast is the community question. I enjoy hearing your answers to the questions as well as what others from the community have to say. It's interesting to hear all the different perspectives. I love being able to participate. I like how lighthearted, fun, and friendly the podcast is. I appreciate the atmosphere created by your show that flows into the Discord and creates a safe space to bond with fellow Genshin lovers. Not every podcast creates an atmosphere like that. Message, thank you so much for what you do. You brighten my week every week, and now this Discord community can brighten my day every day. Yay, thank you. Kahi, you want to read Meowie?
I am listening from South Korea and just started tuning in. The ad popped up below the stream, and it just squished all the text. It was like, it's throwing me off. Okay, I am listening from South Korea and just started tuning in via Spotify podcast. I like to listen while I do homework, podcast in the background. Since I love Genshin Impact, I like that the J-Side Oppa and Kahi Oppa discuss character building, artifacts, weapons, and team synergies. When I have questions, as I listen forward, they also answer it. I'm interested in theories and lore, and I'm glad they also break it down sometimes, that it was easy for me to understand. J-Side Oppa and Kahi Oppa, thank you very much for creating a wonderful community where we can come together and nerd about Genshin and our mutual love for our game. Much love for the podcast and much love for you guys. Congratulations and happy anniversary.
Can you read Kingwins too?
Kingwin. Hey, I'm Kingwin, listening from Australia. And mostly listen whilst commuting on the train. My favorite segment of the podcast would be guessing the voice lines in different languages. It's wonderful getting exposed to the different dubs done by respective VAs this way. One thing I especially like about the podcast is that it focuses on the positives and strays away from the drama and spoilers. Yes. Congrats on 1 year. Listening to the podcast every Tuesday almost feels like routine to me now, and I deeply thank you guys for making my day many countless times throughout the year. All the best for the future, and I look forward to more episodes in the upcoming year as well.
Same.
Bold and underlined, italicized.
Oh, I got you. There you go. Okay. Retro Sky. Heyo, I'm Retro Sky, but most people in the Genshin community call me Retro. I'm listening from Canada, and I normally listen to the podcast using Spotify. I enjoy listening to the podcast during breaks in my day or at night. I love the Last Wish segment, and I'm looking forward to one day when one of you gets a 5-star. Trust me, we are too. I love how entertaining and chaotic it can become. I love the quiz episodes so I can test my Genshin knowledge along with you. Thank you so much, Josh and Kahi, for the wonderful podcast and community that I can now be a part of. I'm looking forward to the future of the podcast, and I hope you have a wonderful time with it. Happy first Genshin Guys podcast anniversary. Thank you, Retro. So Retro streams a lot in the server, actually. So if you ever want to catch Retro streaming, she's always there. So that's cool. Pimzo Balto. Hey, Josh and Kahi, I want to thank you both for hosting this wonderful podcast. Keep with the great work. Thanks, Pimzo. So, all right, Kahi, there's a couple more riddles here. Let's do these.
Ooh, all right.
Okay, so by Kemleon. I do not coat my words with honey. My will never bend. I seek you where the dragon met its end. That's it.
I seek you where the dragon met its end. My will never bend. Zhao?
The dragon met its end? Could be
where a
dragon spine.
It could be dragon spine. It could be leeway.
I do not coat my words with honey. My will never bend. My will.
Sounds very resolute, like Zhao.
Yeah. I seek you. I seek you where the dragon met its end. They're looking for you? Oh, let me put on some.
Well, the thing is, what Zhao can only appear to us in leeway. Maybe for either game reasons or lore reasons or whatever, but
that's true.
The dragon met its end. Where were dragons? Okay, there's dragon spine.
Wait,
there's
Inazuma.
Inazuma, right? There's a dragon in Inazuma, but my will never bend. Could this be Raiden Shogun? Or no? Raiden Shogun doesn't seek us out.
I seek
Zhao does. Zhao specifically looks for us.
Alright, you say Zhao, I'll say Albedo. Ready?
Okay.
Rosaria. Perfect. We got it.
Wait, what? Rosaria? I seek you where the dragon met its end.
We can ask Kemlin about it later. But I mean,
I don't know my Rosaria lore that much.
Yeah. Okay. Guess we gotta read up on Rosaria now. By Hutao. They said I dressed up in wild-looking clothes, and now those people I have learned to loathe. Living beneath the great tree kingdom, I was once a being of arcane wisdom. Who am I?
Weird-looking clothes. Well, they said I dressed in weird-looking clothes, so that's a perspective thing. So she could be normal, and then everyone else is weird. Or this person, whoever. Living beneath the great tree kingdom. Obviously, Sumeru comes to mind.
I mean, so dressed up. I think it's Scaramouche. I think it's Wanderer.
Living beneath the great
because the
tree
wild-looking
kingdom.
clothes. Now there's people I learned to loathe. That's a Wanderer thing. Living beneath the great tree kingdom and once being of arcane wisdom could be referring to the story from Sumeru where he was like being turned into a god, and then and then I was once a being because now this is like current Wanderer, who's not an arcane, because this is like god of the arcane or whatever.
You have some
right?
good points, yeah. What wild-looking clothes?
Yeah, that's why they call them kabukimono. Because of his clothes.
They said I dressed in wild-looking clothes, and now those people have learned to loathe. Living beneath the great tree kingdom could be like living in the shadow of one, or like away from one, not physically under it, not literally. Or like while this kingdom was really good, we weren't really good. So they could be from the desert region. So it could be for someone like Dia, could be Candice, could be Sino. Oh, this could be Sino.
Sino?
Yeah, because he literally wears like the Mahamatra like helmet with like he does dress like very differently from everyone else.
So then where would the living beneath the great tree kingdom and being arcane wisdom?
Aru village? Well, I mean the whole desert region is like a part of Sumeru, but not like as developed.
Like beneath as in like
yeah.
I
In
see,
status,
not
or,
literally.
like, in,
yeah.
You know.
But I was once a being of arcane wisdom? I don't think Sino was a being of arcane wisdom. Alright. I want to reveal the answer. You ready? What's your final answer?
Candice?
Candice?
Sino. Nah, I'm just gonna go with Sino or Dia. It can't be. Nah, Sino.
It's Wanderer. I told you.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident. I know you wanted to have a different answer,
that's
but
good.
okay, by Kenguin. You want to read this one?
A red rose without thorns, pure with no speck of dust. A true pledge hereby sworn till the blade turns to rust. Red rose, no thorns.
Pure with no speck of dust. Till the blade turns to rust. A red rose without thorns. Okay, let's think of that. Who is a red rose without thorns? Oh.
That could be describing something, but
Thanks for the follow? Oh, one community gift sub. Oh, thank you.
Hey.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Kazu.
Kazu.
Wait, who did someone does someone get that, or how does that work?
Gifting a sub.
Oh, Solito got it. Okay,
Oh,
nice.
there you go.
Wow, thanks, Kazu. Now you should give one to Kahi so he can stop watching ads while we're streaming together.
Well, I don't have any ads right now. I mean, it just pops up a little bit.
Mhm.
It doesn't overtake the whole screen. That'll be
right.
annoying.
Oh, it's random, yeah. Okay, you have any ideas? Pure with no speck of dust, true pledge
Till
hereby
the blade
sworn till the
turns
blade
to
turns to rust.
This might all be metaphorical, not describing physical items at all.
What a red rose without thorns?
So that's like, okay, what does a rose symbolize? You know,
Love.
and devotion without thorns. So they have no thorny personality.
But maybe the red is literal.
Could be. The blade turns to rust. That's like everlasting, or like for a very long time. True pledge hereby sworn. Pure with no speck of dust. That's, you know, who's pristine, clean, unblemished.
Huh.
This is either a person or a thing, so I'm assuming this is a person.
It's Kenguin. Who does Kenguin like? A true pledge hereby sworn.
Alpha, you can guess too. We're all trying to guess here.
Can we guess too? Yeah. Oh, okay. If you know the answer, don't guess. If you don't know the answer, you can guess. I know it, I think. LOL. Okay. Thanks, Kazu.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't have an idea. I'll just throw out a random one. Eula.
Oh, that's actually a good guess. Topical. Relevant recently. Red rose, no thorns, pure, no speck of dust. True pledge, sworn. Wait, sworn. Till the blade turns. I'm gonna say Jean.
Jean? Yeah, I was thinking like maybe it's a Knight of Favonius.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, pledge hereby sworn.
Alpha Kite is has a good guess.
No, pure with no speck of dust. Oh, devotion. I'm gonna change my answer. Yes, pure, no speck of dust. She likes to make everything clean.
Yeah, I think it's
Red rose, no thorns.
I think it's Noelle too, because doesn't she have a rose in her thing?
On her, yeah. Just realizing.
All right, it's Noelle. Dang.
Stealing that answer.
Yeah, Kenguin. That was a good one.
Woo. Okay.
That was a good
the
one.
The original waifu.
Okay, that's it. That's all of them. That's all the riddles. Okay. So that's it. Guys, thank you. We made it. We made it through the end of the anniversary episode X Genshin Guys Community Special. Thank you all for your contribution, for hanging out with us. It was amazing. It was fantastic. Thank you all. Cannot thank you all enough. And we really, really appreciate you, and we will continue doing our best. And oh my God, are we excited to go into Fontaine? So, you know, it's really I think it's gonna explode for us, and I'm really hoping too, that there'll be new people that will join us. Our community will grow. We'll have more people that will be interested because of the explosion of players after Fontaine. So yeah, tell your friends, and let's grow our community together, and keep it wholesome, keep it, positive the way it is now, and let's all keep each other accountable for making the kind of community we want to see.